Guys. Yeah. This is not going to be one of those happy lives. And I know that for the most part, those of you guys who view my channel, you guys aren't really into the content like this, where I talk about situations that may have to do with race. Now, listen, I'm not afraid to have a conversation about anything, and if there's any specific bias, I tend to call it out. And some of you guys are, Christians, and you guys think that this race talk is antithetical to the gospel message, but I disagree. In fact, that the gospel message motivates me to speak out against injustice, not as a social justice warrior like you guys want to term, which I'm gonna be honest, I have a problem with um, Christians and apologists on YouTube who should be defending the gospel, coming at social justice as if it's a bad thing that's antithetical to the gospel. Especially since if the gospel is the answer, then why aren't you guys at the forefront of situations that has to do with injustice? If you guys really believe that it's the gospel that brings the change, then bring it, bring it. But until then, I'll discuss situations that have to do with race and come from a biblical perspective behind it, because the gospel, which puts us all at the same playing field, right, is the barometer that I use to measure what's happening in society as far as justice is concerned. Because I'm a believer in Christ, I don't see you or anybody else any different. So, because we're all created in the image of God, if I see somebody created in the image of God being treated less than because of what they look like, I'm going to speak out against it and not hide behind, the gospel is the answer, and then not do anything with the gospel to help present the answer or do something to fix it. So I'm going to talk about it. I just saw a video. So self disclaimer, like, I lived in New York City most of my life, like outside of, living in different states for work and school and stuff. And I recently moved to New Jersey. Okay, bought a house in New Jersey a couple of years ago. So I'm a New Jersey resident. All right, I am. But here's the thing, though. Right? Here's the thing. I live in Jersey, and something recently happened at a mall in New Jersey that should be spoken about. Right? A situation where two teen boys, got into a fight. One black and one white. The white teenager was picking on another student, and the black student went to stand up for the student that was getting picked on. They got into a physical scuffle. When the police came, they put the black kid in handcuffs and sat the white kid on a couch. I'm gonna let you guys see it yourselves. Now, full disclosure, what's going on? How's it going? Full disclosure, this video is now I'm going to show you the video, and it's going to say what's happening, but I'm not listening to any of the commentary that's presented from this news or pseudo news network. Okay. The news network is not important. What's happening right now is important. So we're not listening to the commentary by the news network. We're going to watch it, and then I'm going to give you guys my own commentary. Okay. So let's watch this video real quick. And please, I want you guys to watch this video with an open mind and think about what is happening, because we want to hide from the discussion of racial disparity, how young black boys are seen in society, even when they are doing things that's noble, like defending a friend who's being picked on. They still look like, or they're still looked at as the villain or the instigator or the instant threat in any given situation. And it's problematic. It's messed up. So let's just watch this video real quick. Again, I know you guys aren't going to like the content. Most of you guys don't, but I'm going to do this video anyway. Okay. So I'm going to show this video real quick, and we're going to have a brief discussion about it.
Accusations of racial bias by police after they broke up a fight between a pair of teenagers, one black, one white, at a New Jersey.
And I'm playing it at higher speed, so hopefully I won't get copywritten strikes or anything like that.
Mall. A now
So
viral
let's
video
rewind it
shows
just
the
a little bit.
fight between a pair of teenagers. Accusations of racial bias by police after they broke up a fight between a pair of teenagers, one black, one white, at a New Jersey mall. A now viral video shows the teens having a heated discussion. The white teen pointing his finger in the face of the black teen, who pushes the white teen's hand away. The white teen then shoves the black teen, and the two begin to tussle. At one point, the white teen tackling the black teen and pinning him to a couch, then throwing him to the ground. When police arrive to break up the fight, a female officer pulls the white teen away and pushes him to the couch without handcuffs, while the other officer presses the black teen to the ground and kneels on his back. The female officer also coming over to kneel on the teen's upper back while they place him and only
So the
him
kid who
in
started the
handcuffs.
fight is sitting on the couch and
Treatment
flexing
some
like,
is unequal, unfair, and racially biased. One bystander exclaiming in surprise as police handcuffed the black teen.
Yo, it's because he's black.
CNN affiliate WCBS spoke with one of the teens involved, 14-year-old Kai, who asked that his last name not be used.
I was confused, why they saw me as a bad person, me as aggressive.
The 8th grader telling CNN affiliate WABC the fight began after he stood up for a friend, a 7th grader, being picked on by the other teen, who the station identifies as a high school student. The teen calling the encounter with police scary and frustrating.
If they don't know how to treat the situation and deal with the situation equally and fairly, then they shouldn't be able to deal with the situation at all.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy saying,
I'm deeply disturbed by what appears to be a racially disparate treatment in the video.
Yeah,
we
it
are
was.
underscore with emphasis that we're committed to increasing the trust between law enforcement on the one hand and the communities they serve on the other.
the NAACP New Jersey State Conference calling for the officers involved to be removed from the force pending an investigation, and saying despite years of talk about bias training and accountability, when Bridgewater police found two youths fighting, the immediate reaction was to aggressively throw the black child to the ground. At the same time, the white youth was carefully eased onto a couch and treated like a victim.
It's very obvious.
Kai's mother, Ebony, telling WCBS,
Maybe they could have broken
It's
up the fight and
problematic,
maybe
guys.
set them aside and
It
called
is.
their parents. No cuffs, no aggression. Dealt with them like they were teenagers.
asked what they want to see happen to the officers.
I guess for them to be fired.
I'm not happy about it, and I do want those two cops to become unemployable. That's what I would like.
The Bridgewater Township Police Department saying in a Facebook post it knows the video of the incident has upset members of the community and is asking county prosecutors to conduct an internal affairs investigation. The Somerset County Prosecutor's Office Internal Affairs Unit says it is investigating the fight itself and the police response to it. The police department says it has received additional
all right, no commentary. I don't want to play any commentary. So that's here's the thing, right? You have a situation with two boys, right? Two teenage boys that should be seen as the same, right? One happens to be black, one happens to be white. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter, right? Situation here is the teenager who was white, who was a high school student, was picking on a 7th grader that was hanging out at the mall. This boy sees what's happening and he stands up for the 7th grader who's being picked on by the high schooler, the black boy. The white teenager points in the black kid's face. Nobody wants their face pointed at, so he pushes his hand out the way, and then the kid pushes him. Then the black kid retaliates and they get into a scuffle. All right, they fight. The black kid's on the floor when the police come, and the white teenager's on top of him. And what they do is they separate the white teen, puts him on a couch, right, with ease. And you can see it in the video with ease. And then they take the black kid, put him on the floor immediately, put the knee on the back, handcuff him. The lady police officer who was with the white teenager sitting on the couch really nicely goes and assists with the black kid on the floor kneeling, right? Kneeling on both of them, kneeling on him with their knee to cuff him, not even understanding what's happening. They see two people fighting and instantly they put the black kid in cuffs because it seems like black boys are the instant threat in every situation, even though in this situation, this black boy, the black teenager, was being an upstander, sticking up for a person who was being villainized. And the villain in this situation was treated with ease because of the color of his skin. That could be it. It might not be. However, this video, I think it's clear. I think it's clear. It's really messed up. They really left the white kid unattended. They left him unattended. You're absolutely right, Brandon. What if he had a weapon and attacked the detained black kid or the officers? It was messed up. They stereotype us no matter how noble and honorable we are. Absolutely. He's doing the right thing, standing up for being an upstander, and he's put in cuffs while the young man who was picking on the 7th grader was able to just have a seat on a couch. And then he stood up. He stood up over them, right? And seemed to be flexing in the video like, yeah, see, good for you. So when I have conversations like this, it makes people uneasy. People would rather joke about race instead of having serious conversations about race. There was a variable in this situation. The variable was what the two boys looked like. And because one person has a little bit more melanin in their skin, they were seen as an instant threat. Now, here's the problem here. It's society that has conditioned people to believe that young black boys are an instant threat. Because media, movies, news, all that stuff will report or create a narrative that young black boys are the instant threat. This is why when situations like a couple of years ago, the two boys on bicycles chased down a kidnapper of a little girl who happened to be white. They chased her down. They put that all over the place, like, yeah, you know, like, I get it. Yeah, that happens all the time. But it's not shown enough. It's not shown enough. And videos like this, right? Videos like this exposes how people see young black boys. Now, am I saying that these officers are racist? I'm not saying that. Well, can I pretty accurately say that their decision to handcuff the black boy was based on implicit bias because they see him as an instant threat? Absolutely. I think that's exactly what happened here. They saw him as an instant threat, even though he was the one doing the right thing and defending a boy who that white teenager who was older than the boy being picked on, who was defending him. I think it's messed up. Now, some of you guys are going to watch this and say, here Dre goes again, race baiting. I'm not race baiting. I really want to have honest conversations and see what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of that video. What do you guys think? Could it have been racially motivated? Could it have been a thing where because young black boys are seen as an instant threat, they had to put him in cuffs and not break up the situation and identify what was happening? Right? Why? Especially since it looked like the other kid had the upper hand in that situation. He was already on the floor. You turn him over, put him in cuffs, sit the white boy down, took the black boy, handcuff him, and then pick him up and put him on the couch. We're afraid to have conversations like this. Yeah, I heard about that too, Valerie, and great seeing you here. So, I want you guys to leave a comment down below. You don't even have to like this video. You probably don't like the video. It seems like, you know, when I talk about things outside of race, people tend to get uncomfortable when we have honest discussions about race. Now, am I saying I'm right about everything? Absolutely not. But at least I'm willing to have the conversation. And I'm willing to say when I'm wrong. I'm willing to say when I'm wrong. But people don't want to have an honest conversation about it. Media doesn't paint that narrative. Black men do. It's cool. I don't know. I don't know about that. And I think that you're coming from a place of even implicit bias yourself. Media does paint that narrative because there are more good black men out there than the ones that are being shown in the negative light. So I can't agree completely with that. It's cool for black males to be. So I do agree that, you know, society, the black male narrative is thuggish. But to be honest with you, it's a lot of the women that gravitate to those thuggish black males, which is also a motivating factor for these black males, the limited amount out there, to behave the way they do. So good black men are called lames. And the fact of the matter is, here's a situation of a good black teenager defending another student, a child, 7th grader, who couldn't defend himself, and he's looked at as an instant threat. So Even the good ones are looked at as an instant threat. And it's not us painting that narrative. It's how media portrays it, which causes other people to see it. We're not out there just, presenting the negativity. There are people out there that are showing the minimal negativity happening in Black communities and saying that that is all of them. And that's the problem. So that's the problem. There are more upstanding Black people in our communities than there are not. It's just that those that are not are the ones that are promoted in almost every aspect of the media. The music that we listen to, they are promoted, right, and selected by music executives, right, who happens to be mostly of another demographic than the people making the music. So they help promote that music. So when we have people who are promoting good music, positive music, or whatever, they won't promote that because it doesn't sell. So it's a combination. So there are definitely elements of people in our community that are doing bad things, but that's not the majority. But people believe that's the majority because of what media is pushing out there. So there are more of us out there doing amazing things. It's just not being highlighted. So when we have situations like this where there's a fight in the mall and it just happens to be with, and the thing is, the two boys that are fighting, they're not fighting because, it's a racial situation. So let me say that. I'm not going to assume that, the Black kid and the white kid are fighting because of, racism. Like they're fighting because, no, that's not what the story says. So the fight itself wasn't racially motivated. How the police responded could have been motivated by implicit bias because they deemed the young Black boy as the instant threat. And that breaks my heart because I can walk through, as a teenager, I can walk through a street and somebody starts a fight with me and they happen to be white, and I'll be the one put in cuffs. I think it's problematic. And here's the thing about implicit bias. Like we all have it. We all have it. There are some things that we have been fed where that like just feed like and conditioned to believe about other people groups. And then we paint the whole people group like that. And it's not always the case. It's not the case. So we all have it. So there is a problem with that though. When you're in a position of authority and you move and you operate and you make decisions based on implicit bias, people are going to get hurt. People are going to get hurt, yeah, everyone has a bias. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just don't want that to happen. Like in an ideal world, we look at each other's differences and we celebrate those differences. And we look at what's right. We look at what's right, regardless of who it is and what they look like. And let's not make connections physically with somebody and then overlook their faults, because that's what happens with implicit bias, right? So again, I am not afraid to have conversations like this. I'm not. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let me just state this. Do I believe that I don't know these officers. So do I believe that they're racist? I can't say that. So I'm not here saying that those racist officers should be fired. I'm not saying that. And if you think I'm saying that, you got a problem. What I am saying is that this is a case of clear implicit bias that needs to be discussed and needs to be sort of healed in a sense. And you know how we heal that? With the gospel. You know how we can't heal it though? By not saying that it's happening and then presenting the gospel. It's like saying, I don't see that problem, but the answer to the problem is the gospel, because that's what a lot of you guys do, especially those of you guys who come on here wanting to claim that the social justice narrative is antithetical to the gospel, when in all actuality, the gospel message, it being clear and accessible to everybody, and it paints us all in the same level, that should be the motivator for us to say, there's injustice here. They are no different than us. We need to speak up against this. So, yeah. So first, acknowledge the problem. there's implicit bias in almost every area of authority. Then provide the solution. The gospel is a solution. It's not, there's no problem there. There's no problem there, right? And we can't talk about social justice because it's antithetical to the gospel. You're not doing the gospel any justice. You're just not. So I'm about to go. What you missed it? You got to rewind it, sis. You missed it, and I know you're going to hold me accountable. So you watch it and let me know what you think, sis. Let me know what you think. What's going on, Black Light Revelation? You missed the video too. I'm gonna send you this so that you can do a commentary on this as well. It's a situation where two teenagers were fighting in a mall. One happened to be black, one happened to be white. The white teenager is a high schooler who was picking on a seventh grader hanging out in the mall. The black teen was defending the kid who was getting picked on, speaking up for him. And the white teenager put his finger in the black kid's face. The black kid, pushed his hand out the way. The white kid pushed him, and they got into a fight. When the police showed up, they calmly put the white teenager on the couch, and they handcuffed the black teenager, both of them, with their knees on his back on the floor, and didn't get the full story. So I would recommend, and I would love to hear your take on this too, bro. So, yeah, it's hurts, and it happened in New Jersey. So, it's not in some southern state, some southern city. It happens here. So it does expose implicit bias. And again, I'm gonna say it again because some people like to blame me for things that's not happening here. I'm not talking about the police being racist. I am saying that there's implicit bias in almost every area of authority that causes people to behave or respond in certain ways, which in this situation, implicit bias played a part in them seeing the young black teenager as the instant threat when the actual threat was the person who was bullying. So, yeah, underlying preconceived beliefs still exist. A friend of mine from high school was asked to put handcuffs on by a police officer during a traffic stop because he looked intimidating. Yeah. I hope the community goes for their badges. Yeah, that's probably gonna happen, especially in New Jersey. Governor Phil Murphy is not about that, and he doesn't want the state to be known as that. So, yeah. Oh yeah. I was talking about a specific incident. I'm not sure if you saw the video, but you guys can go back and watch the video. I'm not going to play it again, but yeah, you can watch the video. All right, guys, I'm going to end it here. But listen, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm not even going to play the outro music because it's not one of those type of conversations. But if you would like to, hit the like button on this video. Maybe YouTube will share it out. If you don't like the video, you can hit the dislike button as well. I know a lot of people get uncomfortable when we have discussions about blackness and whiteness in America, but it's a conversation that needs to be had. It's a problem that needs to be exposed, so that the solution, the gospel, which paints us all in the same light, can be presented and people given the opportunity to respond to that. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. You can subscribe to the channel, and by subscribing, you'll be joining the Harrison Extended family. Hit the bell notification so it'll let you know when I go live, like I'm doing right now when I upload new videos. Also, you can support the channel by hitting the join button down below here, or going to my Patreon and joining the Patreon community, which I have no Patreons yet. I have no patrons yet. Yo, guys, help a brother out. Help us get more content that's positive out there. By going to patreon.com/Harrison Family Values. All right. And this is one of those family value situations. So I'm talking about it because that's to do with family values. So you have a mother who was concerned that her son was put in handcuffs and the other boy was not. So it needs to be discussed. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. And I love you guys. All right. God bless. Peace.